Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 10th annual Eco Comedy Awards competition. We are really pleased to be with you tonight, and we thank you for joining us and getting a peek at these finalists for the Eco Comedy Awards competition. This year's theme was Your Favorite Wild Animal, and we're just looking forward to seeing who got to the finals and who the winner is going to be. I want to welcome you to the Center for Environmental Filmmaking. I'm Maggie Burnett Stogner, the Executive Director of the Center. And if you don't know anything about the Center, I encourage you to go to our website, www.environmentalfilmmaking.org, and check us out. We have a number of different educational programs and programs like this, and film series, speaker series, panels, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about the center. If you're interested, you can always reach me at stogner@american.edu. I would also like to share that we have a new research report that just came out last fall. It's the CEF Impact Media Report. We have a brand new website that's launching during the festival this week. It's www.cefimpactmedia.org, and it will be on the DCEFF website as well. We just launched it, so please take a look. It looks into the different facets of what creates media, films, digital videos that really engage audiences in different ways, playing on a lot of different emotions, different ways of forming alliances, impact, outreach. So check it out, and I would love to hear your feedback. So please send us an email. And so I'd like to also thank all of our great sponsors for tonight. The Nature Conservancy, who's been partnering with us for 10 years since the beginning of the Eco Comedy competition. The Smithsonian National Zoo, AU's Office of Sustainability, AU's Center for Media and Social Impact, the School of Communication, Matt Skalecki, who is our event manager, and boy, we couldn't do this without him. He's amazing. And Nick Tucker, who's our graduate student, who's really been the mastermind behind organizing this event for the last 3 years, and just does a spectacular job. So thank you so much. Really, really appreciate all of you. And I will present our award presenters, Bridget Moynihan, Russell Williams, and Raj Patel, as they get ready to present in the different categories. We have 4 different categories this year. And as I said, the theme was Your Favorite Wild Animal. We had over 170 submissions from 31 different countries. Really impressive. And I just want to say that typically Professor Katie Chadu, the Executive Director of the Center for Media and Social Impact, joins us to shed some light on her incredible research and expertise on how comedy engages and can be used as a social justice tool. And unfortunately, she could not be here tonight, so I'm going to try to fill her shoes. Not so easy, but I would like to share a few of the things that she's been working on with the center. It's very exciting work. One is a book that she's written, and I just happen to have it right here, A Comedian and an Activist. Let's see if I can make that work. A comedian and an activist walk into a bar. And it really looks at the social impact that comedy can, and the social justice work that can be achieved through comedy. So again, I encourage you to check out this great book. Yeah, no, there it goes. And then she also has created a partnership with Comedy Central and has created a comedy think tanks program that brings together professional comedians and leading social justice groups. It sounds like a lot of fun. They workshop how to create comedy around social justice issues. And one of those projects is the Ain't Your Mama's Heat Wave, which is premiering at this festival. So check it out. It's on the festival website, and it'll be available throughout the website. So a really interesting example of this rising new genre of docu-comedy. Hopefully you'll be able to take a look at that, take a look at the book, and get some great inspiration about how to use comedy to make a difference in the world. So now on with the program. We have 4 categories, basically the kids category, K through 8, college and the college category, non-student category, and then the special category for this year is the honorable mentions category. We're very fortunate to have 3 outstanding award presenters with us tonight. And we're going to start first with the K through 8 category. And I think there's a little bit of intro music from our first presenter, singer, songwriter, Bridget Moynihan. Oh, we could sing along. We could make up the song. Not hearing the music.
The music is not working. If we could.
Okay, well, that's too bad. And I won't put Bridget on the spot to just sing it off the top. But let me introduce her. Bridget Moynihan will be presenting the K through 8 Worldwide Award category tonight. Bridget, in addition to being a very talented singer and songwriter, is the engagement and stewardship specialist for the Nature Conservancy in Maryland and Washington, D.C. She's been a supporter of the Eco Comedy competition for the last 3 years, and we thank her very much for her support. She has a master's degree in experimental psychology from St. Joseph's University, something I need to find out more about. And it sounds intriguing and a perfect background for the Eco Comedy competition with wild animals. So Bridget, take it away.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you, Nick, for trying to play my song. I know that Zoom is always tricky, but yeah, Rickety Bridges is on Spotify if you want to check us out. The Nature Conservancy has been a wonderful partner to this eco comedy competition. The past few years that I've been involved, I've absolutely loved it. So thanks, Maggie, for continuing this partnership with us. So in this category, there were 30 submissions from countries around the world. And we have 2 finalists in the K through 8 category. So we're going to take a look at both of them. And yeah, let's get started.
Why does humanity hate rats so much? I kind of think of that as my theme song. I've devoted my life to hunting those vermin to the point of extinction.
Tonight on Hunters City Edition.
The Rat Man is a self-described vigilante rodent hunter. The city is infested. This is the story of one man's crusade.
And it would just follow you. I get some funny looks when I use this, so I don't really take this out very often unless it's a really dark alley, or gotta get into a crawl space. Use it pretty well.
His methods are alarmingly violent.
Like sword in the stone. You know, the rats, they don't really play fair. Well, it's because of the plague.
Wait, isn't it the fleas that spread the plague?
Fleas?
Lacking in basic information.
Rats are really stupid. Did you ever see a rat find its way through a really complicated maze?
Actually,
Listen. Wow, that's amazing. Where'd you get that video from?
They'll see. They might actually be inside.
And he's not very good at his job.
Actually, that's a recycling.
In the unending struggle of man versus nature, will Ratman be the victor? Or will he once again be outsmarted by one of the most successful species on the planet?
Clever girl.
coming up on Hunters City Edition.
Wow, those are both so creative. But the winner in this category was the Rat Man. Congratulations. If you guys happen to be here watching, feel free to write something in the chat. But yeah, great job, everybody.
Thank you. That was awesome. Amazing. I mean, I've seen a lot of rat films over the years, but I think that one was very creative, especially the fact that they didn't film any rats in the actual making of the film. Whoa. So I do encourage people, if you are in the audience, it's always hard with Zoom not to be able to see you. But if you want to join in on the chat, if you're among the filmmakers of any of the films, and you know, please speak up in the chat so we can congratulate you that way as well. Really appreciate it. Every year we get a lot of a real range, particularly in the K-8 category. Some of the films are made with families, some are made with buddies, and some are animation, some are real life, some are, you know, live action, some are a mix, very experimental to very realistic. But it's just fascinating to think about around the world, people's different sense of humor and the way that we can engage through different kinds of humor, whether it's animation or a mockumentary spoof. So really appreciate that category. Big applause to the finalists and the winner. I congratulate you very much. And we will move on to our next category, which is the College University Worldwide. And it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Russell Williams, who will be presenting this award category. Professor Williams is a full-time and very popular professor of film and media arts, and has been in the School of Communication at American University for a few years now, and is an alum. He joined AU School of Communication after an illustrious career in Hollywood, where he won 2 Academy Awards for his sound work on Glory and Dances with Wolves. His Oscar statues are now at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture, which I hope will be opening soon, full again, along with all the other Smithsonian museums. Professor Williams is an experienced producer, and his work has brought him honors and recognition from the mayors of both Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles, and from the American Film Institute, Cal State Northridge, Howard University, and of course, American University. Russell, it's just a pleasure for you to be here and to see you. I just can't wait till when we're back at the theater, but this is the next best thing. So take it away. Thank you.
Maggie, thanks again for the invite. I wish I could see all of the people viewing our Eco Comedy Awards tonight. It's such a gas. So this is the 10th anniversary of the awards presentation. And by the way, it's exactly 30 years ago that I won that second Oscar for Dances with Wolves. So quite naturally, the wolf is my favorite animal in the wild, except of course when I look in the mirror, but that's another story. So that was then. Tonight, we had 51 entries in the college university category from around the world, and the range of aesthetics and approaches and styles was truly impressive. So out of 51, we have 2 finalists. One finalist is Fry Hard, and the second finalist is the Croc Shock. Take it away, Nick.
Okay, and the winner, who is the winner?
The winner was Croc Shock. So if you are in the audience somewhere on Zoom, if you can hit us in the chat, we'd appreciate it. I mean, Maggie, these are so much fun. I just want to see the other 49,
Yeah.
over again to see. Wow, I mean, it was so creative. But I mean, just so much fun. I'm just so glad to be part of the awards event tonight. And thank you, all you creative filmmakers, wherever you are on the planet. And I'll remind myself not to buy a pair of Crocs if it's going to attract crocodiles.
That was a good reveal at the end there. Russell, thank you so much for presenting this category. Those were both excellent, and the others too. I mean, there's just so much creativity and animation. Wow, 2 entirely different styles, that claymation style and then the drawing, and both of those. I mean, what a tough choice that was. So congratulations to both of you, both finalists, for an excellent job. Very creative, very fun way to take us into different animals' habitats, and with a twist at the end. So congratulations to you both. And again, if you're in the audience, please feel free to type something in the chat, and we are applauding you loudly, even though you can't hear it. So thank you again, and we're going to move on to the non-student worldwide award category presented by Rosh Patel. Rosh is a media producer at Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute in Washington, D.C., where in addition to filming the creatures at the zoo, he creates short films ranging in topics from coral conservation to the spread of disease through wildlife. He earned his MFA in Science and Natural History Filmmaking from Montana State University and has produced short films for a variety of topics, ranging from lions in Western India to the impacts of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill on deep sea artifacts and ecosystems. His films have won awards at environmental film festivals, including the International Wildlife Film Festival, the Wild and Scenic Film Festival, Jackson Hole Science Media Awards, the New York Wild Film Festival, and he has worked with conservation organizations such as the Wildlands Network, Defenders of Wildlife, and the Association of Zoos and Aquariums to host screenings across the country. He is truly a multi-talented filmmaker, scientist, and has a passion that's unsurpassed in trying to create stories that really connect with viewers and audiences and bring awareness to different animals. So please join me in welcoming Raj Patel for this next category.
Thanks,
Raj, are you
Maggie.
there? Oh yes,
Yep.
hi.
Yeah, thanks for having me be a part of this. And I'm very excited to be, getting to present on something. I think maybe 6-7 years ago, I submitted a film to this film festival or to this competition. And so it's fun to be on the other end. And yeah, so I'm happy to present in the non-student submissions. We had 87 films submitted from all over the world, which is exciting. And as we've seen from just the previous 4 finalists, there's so much variety. So I can only imagine how much variety exists in that 87. So that's super exciting. And before I announce the winner, we'll just watch the 2 finalists, A Tardigrade Thank You by Robert Boyd and A Peacock Spider by Damon Stay, which are both fun, small animals. So I'm excited to see them.
Great, thank you.
All right, mate. Make yourself at home. Do you want some coffee? Yeah, I don't find it easy to sit still, you know. How you going? I'm Brock, and I'm an animal. They call me a jumping spider just because I can jump 20 times my body length. And yeah, I've won awards for it. Yeah, but honestly, I only jump like a few times a day, max. I mean, I'm not a jumping maniac like people think. I honestly spend way more time dancing. Check it out. Oh, it's pretty good, eh? Yeah, girls can't get enough of this. All this. Yeah, pretty sure the sprawling drives girls crazy. Or maybe it's this. Ha! Yeah? Whew! It's pretty good, eh? Sorry, I didn't hear you. You said it was great, right? Oi, mate. Seeing this girl tonight, right? And if I'm even just a little bit off, she's going to kill me. No, mate, like, she's going to literally murder and eat me if this dance isn't perfect. Really? Still nothing? But I'm told this is very attractive. I don't know anymore, mate. It's driving me crazy. I think it's about as sexy as it's ever going to get. You think she'll go for it?
Hey there, humanity. We Tardigrades just want to take a quick moment to thank you. All of the media hype, the plush toy merchandise, the deviant art, well, it's flattering. We appreciate it, and we get it. Obviously, at this point, you consider us to be your favorite animal. Well, you know what, humans? You're our favorite animal, too. No, really, it's true. As freeze-proof, drought-proof, radiation-proof superorganisms, we, water bears, travel the cosmos, exploring the empty void in search of new worlds to colonize. When we first arrived on your quaint backwater planet, we found the conditions to be quite agreeable, with soaring volcanic temperatures and just a sprinkling of water. perfectly inhospitable to everything but us and the small single-celled life we feed upon. We, moss piglets, were living quite high on the hog. That is, until things became a little bit too crowded with a cacophony of plant, animal, and fungal biodiversity that, quite frankly, we found a little off-putting. There goes the neighborhood. Am I right? Things started to look a little grim. That is, until you Homo sapiens crawled out of your caves and got to work. In just a few short thousand years, you managed to rack up quite a body count. Woolly mammoths? Gone. The dodo bird? Gone. And you're well on your way to wiping out a majority of your big cats, your elephants, and those pesky coral reefs. But of course, you don't just stop there, do you? No, you're experts at eradication, and you would never leave a job halfway done. In just a few short 100 years more, you've managed to set your largest forests on fire, dump countless tons of plastic, chemicals, and raw sewage into your own drinking water, tear a gaping hole in the ozone layer. You're well on your way to melting Antarctica by 2100. And of course, your bloodlust for endless geopolitical conflict is clearly aimed at sparking a robust, healthy nuclear winter. Humanity, you're so considerate. Honestly, we haven't been this excited since we decided to crash that meteor into the planet and wipe out those upstart dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Of course, we've heard rumblings about renewable energy and civil international cooperation, and nice try, humans. We both know you don't have the farsightedness necessary to save this planet or yourselves. And look, you don't need to. Don't worry, we'll take good care of this place after you're gone. And hey, we might even consider keeping a few of you alive as pets. You are, after all, our favorite animal.
Oh, they're both so good and so different. I think like all the categories that we've had such variety. And so I'm excited to announce that the winner is a Tardigrade Thank You by Robert Boyd, who I believe is an AU alumni. So Robert, if you are in the audience, feel free to say hello and congratulations.
That was amazing. Again, really tough competition here because the finalists are so good and so much effort goes into making these kinds of films. And I really am just inspired every time I see the range of creativity that people come up with to really have a different take on the world. And both of these certainly did. And Raj, before I let you go, you just have to tell me which was your film 6 years ago?
There's one that I did. It was on bison. It was a bison music video.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to share that with me sometime. I'd love to see it. A bison, was it dancing bison?
No, we just had a lot of footage of bison, but we wrote a song for it. So it was a fun
That's
little
great.
musical.
I think you and Bridget might have to share some music there too. Maybe there's another music video coming up. One thing we didn't talk about earlier, but it is kind of fun to think about, is which wild animal do you most relate to? So if I were to ask you that question, Rosh, what's your favorite animal?
Ooh, that's always a tough one and changes all the time. But I would say been spending a lot of time with this panda cub. And so I feel like I'm enjoying the tumbles and the ungraceful falls, which I can definitely relate to in my clumsiness as I sometimes trip and fall on different shoots and things like that. So I can relate to that little bear.
Oh, and that very cute. And Russell's saying in the chat that he's had a lot of experience with bison as well. Russell, I might just have to have you come back for a minute and explain that.
Well, when we did dances, we ran 5,000 head.
Wow.
Of buffalo bison to get that scene. And I had assumed that they were gone forever, but they were actually being raised. Unfortunately, they were going to end up being beefalo once they became, I think, 2 or 3 years old. So we had the young ones and a couple elders to leave the herd, but that was the first time in the 20th century that anybody had run a herd of buffalo.
Wow. And I just have to ask, and not to get too far off, but this is about filmmaking, right? How in the world do you record the sound of 5,000 buffalo?
Well, number one, you stay out of their way. And number two, you get the wrangler to also cut maybe a couple hundred from that herd and have them go around you in a circle. And then most of the rest of that thundering sound they added in post-production, because in order to drive the herd, they used Ford pickup trucks and a helicopter to get them pointed in the right direction. And then who knows, it took maybe a half day to reorganize them and get them back to one, or we actually moved one forward to wherever they stopped running and then continued the shot. So it was a filmmaking sound nightmare for me, because all I'm hearing in actual big shots is helicopter and Ford F-150.
But can you still hear the sound of those bison running, thundering? Do you still hear that?
Yeah, but the look on their faces was actually more impressive, because the only thing that saved us as a crew is that if the leader decides to turn right, then we're toast. If they turn left, we're fine. If they turn right, then running into us, and we couldn't outrun them. So they did a good job having the trucks kind of keeping a U around the bison, keep them pointed in that direction, and not let them come over close to where our camera people were. But it was an exciting experience just to be out there.
Wow.
It was a little dusty too.
I bet. Yeah, a little dust up from the 5,000 buffalo. But thank you for sharing the behind the scenes. I really wish with all the films that are submitted to the Eco Comedy Competition that we could get that glimpse of the behind the scenes of the making of the films, because these are so creative, and you know, I mean, just every single one of them is using different techniques, and to be able to have a little chat with the filmmakers and get a little behind the scenes. And we may have to work that in for next year's Eco Comedy Competition. Well, Raj, thank you. Thank you so much for presenting this category. And we're gonna move on now to our final category, which is the Honorable Mentions Award. We haven't done this one before, but there were just so many good submissions. So we decided we'd go ahead and create this special category. There are 2 finalists. And the first one is called A Dinner Conversation. And the second one is called A Day in the Life, Blue-Footed Booby. Nick, take it away.
Dun, 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 dun. Hi, and welcome back to A Dinner Conversation, where we will talk about dogs. Dogs are from the Canis lupus familia, a subspecies of the wolf. And I have my guest, Peppa, here. She's a dog. She's a dog. This is Peppa, my guest. Welcome to A Dinner Conversation. I'm here to interview you. Dogs are the first species to be domesticated. And they like food. They have many very advanced memory skills. And in China and Korea and Japan, they are viewed as protectors. What do you think about that? And in Mesopotamia, dogs were viewed as healers. Do you think a dog can be a protector or a healer or an eater? And in Hogwarts, dogs are viewed as Fluffy, Fang, and Sirius Black. And now to our guest, Peppa. And that was a dinner conversation about dogs.
Hi guys, and welcome to One Day in the Life of a Blue-footed Booby Coronavirus Edition. So usually us boobies are marine birds native to tropical regions of the eastern Pacific Ocean, but obviously since COVID hit, I've been quarantining inside like everyone else. So I usually begin my day at 7 a.m, waking up, grabbing a coffee, and beginning my 20 minutes of daily squawking. After that, I'll then start my daily tasks. So since the pandemic hit, I've been working at home. So morning will usually consist of business meetings, Zoom calls, planning nest building, that sort of thing. Lunchtime would usually consist of diving into the ocean and hunting various small fish. However, since the pandemic hit, this has had to become virtual. Us boobies are very social, so after lunch, I often visit my favorite mallard for a socially distanced flap and waddle. Then I'll attempt to seduce a local flamingo. For blue-footed boobies, our feet are sexually selected trait, and the bluer are the more appealing. As you can see, I have very impressive feet, so this works well. After that busy day, I go asleep in my nest. Thanks for spending the day with me.
Nick, are there credits on the end of that one?
There is not. That's
Okay.
that's all.
Okay, well, thank you. Both very impressive, and I have to say the dry humor of a dinner conversation was very funny. That Peppa was a hard interview, really tough. And I again, if the finalists and winners are out there in the audience, I thank you very much for joining us this evening. But I also would love to hear from you in the chat. And the winner of the honorable mention finalists is A Day in the Life, Blue-Footed Booby. And but congratulations to both finalists and the winner, because those were very fun videos, and taking us into some of the behavior and information about different species that you know, that we connect with, or that we find particularly interesting. I had some experience with blue-footed boobies on a film shoot in the Galapagos about 10 years ago, and wow, those blue feet are impressive. And there are red-footed boobies as well, and the red feet are impressive. And you know, nature is just extraordinary in the way that we have so many different species in our world, and just all different designs and colors and shapes and behaviors. And so this is just a small exploration through the world of comedy to understand more about our world and how to connect with it. So I encourage all of you to think about, what would you do if you wanted to engage people about your favorite species? What is your favorite animal, wild animal? And you know, where do you think you can use your comedic sense of humor to you know, create films and short videos that really give us a different perspective, or help engage the public about different animals. I'd like to call our presenters back onto the screen. If you can start your, yeah, there we go. And I know Russell Williams had to leave. It was really great of him to be able to join us to present the one category, but Raj, Bridget, I would love to hear from you if you have any just last thoughts of advice that you would like to provide. I mean, the Nature Conservancy, the National Zoo, you know, those are two incredible institutions. So any words of advice to emerging or even polished comedic filmmakers out there?
Sure. I think, you know, one of the amazing things about all the finalists that we've seen tonight is that it's the full range of budgets too. You know, I think anyone can do it. And one of the nice things with humor is that if it's funny, it's funny. So, you know, I definitely encourage you, if you have a good idea, just go for it. You know, there's way few barriers than there may have been in the past. And so, you know, like one of those was a TikTok submission, which is great. Like there's just people creating content wherever they're able to do it in whatever form they're able to. So yeah, I think this is a great example of just pursuing ideas.
Yeah, and that TikTok, I mean, that just has taken off in the last couple of years. So we, and when I say we, largely Nick, really reached out to the Eco TikTok community, the EcoTalk community, to see what they were doing. And it's a new relatively new platform in EcoTalk. And now there's, it's just grown so much in the last few years. Just quick, short videos, but a way to just grab people's attention with something new or something different, and a lot of comedy. So great platform. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Bridget, do you have any words of advice?
Sure, I totally agree. And I would say that in this community, we're aware of environmental issues and challenges, but a lot of people aren't. And humor is a fantastic way to just bring levity to this and open the conversation. It allows people to bring their guard down and all connect. We can all connect through humor. So I would say, using humor as a vehicle for communicating these issues is a great way to get the conversation started. And also try not to let like the overwhelming issues get to you. If you can on an individual basis, just, impact one person or change one person's mind or help inform one person, that's a huge step in my opinion. So just do what you can, like Rosh said, to use your own budget, your own flavor, and I'm sure it would come across great to whoever you decide to show that to. So thanks, Maggie.
Yeah, that's great advice. I really appreciate that, because really we all have stories to tell and different ways of telling it, and budget shouldn't be an issue. And most people today have some kind of smartphone or access to a smartphone, and that's how you get started. That's where it can start. And being able to just influence thinking of just one person. I mean, that's it. It doesn't take this overwhelming, big, massive, it's one person at a time. And comedy is certainly a way to start that conversation, as you said, because it can be very overwhelming. And particularly in these months of pandemic, we all need a little comic relief more than ever. So I want to thank you again for presenting tonight and being part of our 10th anniversary Eco Comedy Competition. I will look forward to next year being in the theater. I hope you both will join us to present again next year, and Russell Williams as well. I want to say thank you again to Matt and to Nick for all their organization and making these Zoom events happen, and Nick for sorting through and really doing a lot of outreach to get the number of submissions. Over 170 submissions from 31 countries is really impressive, particularly in this Zoom virtual world we're in right now. So thank you to everybody, and I look forward to joining you next year for our 11th Eco Comedy Competition. We will be announcing our theme for the competition shortly, and we'll see you next year. Thank you so much.